Today is Saturday, October 25th, 2025. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is the listener feedback show for Survivor 49, Week 5.
Week 5. Wow. It's just chugging away, isn't it?
It is.
We do 2 shows a week. We got our recap on Wednesdays. And then Saturday, we turn it over to the superfans for the listener feedback show. So we're going to check in, see what they thought about this latest episode. Obviously, what they're thinking about the season as a whole. We got several people weighing in on that. And then some predictions for the future, although it's going to be a little tricky with this breakout to going back to 3 tribes again. I'm trying not to do that.
Oh, sorry.
The groan, because I've caught myself doing it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the superfans have to say about it too. Maybe they got a different perspective. I don't know. Any business we need to cover?
I do not believe so.
How many folks checked in this week?
23.
23. All right. Quite a few. Let's get it started with Pete.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pete from Boston calling here. Wow. Well, I gotta say that the tribal council was okay and a little bit and big time predictable, but it was a solid episode. And I'm gonna let a great big yeah. And see you later, Jason. You might have been the puzzle genius, but you offered no strategy and no social game, and it burnt you big time as the only yellow tribe member left with the swamp. But anyway, guys, solid episode. I love that we got a lot of camp time on both sides. The journey was solid with Nate and MC. They didn't find the advantage. I loved how Nate was playing it, too. You know, I think he's working a good social game. He's probably the most likable one of the season that I could tell, or one of the most likable ones for sure. Jawan better watch out though. I mean, Jason was the easy vote, as Savannah said, but Jawan keeps digging his own grave with her, and whatever Savannah wants, Savannah gets. Again, I'm not going to say Poverty or Suri or Amanda, but this girl is legit. She's taking it to another level. She knows everything that goes on and is controlling everything. And I love the Riz guard too. We saw a little bit of Rizzo here and there. He made some nice shots as that team came within an eyelash of winning. I mean, that was a very good challenge for sure. But all 6 red though, my favorite color, is still there. But I think the way they're building up the edit now, my homegirl Shannon is going to be going soon. They're setting the stage for her and Sage, the only other 2 red teams on the opposite team, to go at it. But I think Shannon's going to be ahead now. She's playing it good, but overplaying it, and they're all seeing right through it, including Yara, USB, Joanne, Sophie S. I mean, I think Sage stepped up her game for sure, working with Steven and MC, and even Christine too. There's no doubt Shannon, if they lose again, she's done the way it's looking. And if the other team loses again, I could see Jawan going, because Savannah's had it out for him for sure. But it's a solid episode, guys. I gotta check out Jason's interview as if he thought about playing the shot in the dark. He had to have known he was going. Maybe he just didn't care. Again, you guys said it too. He didn't offer much strategy anyway, other than being good at puzzles. So I'll check those out, because there's not many good extra clips anymore. Solid episode, guys. Well, I gotta tell you something. I'm gonna be away for a couple weeks, going on a big European tour through the big cities of Italy. So I'll be in touch with you guys Veterans Week. Okay, guys? But I'll catch up on the episodes. Take care.
Whoa, that sounds like a great trip, Pete.
Yes,
Hope you have a wonderful time.
fabulous time. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Let's see, what did Jason have to say in the interviews? I think the thing that stood out the most was that there was another four-person alliance in original Hina. There was Stephen, MC, Sophie S., and Jason. And he didn't offer that up as extra information, but it was something that was in the back of his head as he was making plans. He said he didn't think about asking New Kella to throw the challenge until after they had already lost, and he was more aware of his fate. And he said Savannah did a really good job of being in his head, chirping about loyalty and him being the bridge over to original Hina. And that's part of what Rizzo was playing a part in that too, saying that if you don't play your shot in the dark, that's how you prove your loyalty. And anyway, Jason, as we had surmised previously, just really didn't have the social game. He didn't have the strategic game figured out. He was not operating in real time at that point.
And Savannah was very convincing. Because
I guess, yeah.
I think she was, because a part of her really did want to rather work with him than Juwan.
Mm-hmm. And the way she was framing it in that she was putting a lot of trust in him and all that. And I think she's the one, too, who kept winding him up to go out and talk to everyone else about how he was the bridge, he was the thread, making the connection, and had that in his head. But it wouldn't have cost him anything to play his shot in the dark. He was not, I think his game peaked. Well, it peaked with the puzzles, but prior to that, the next best thing for him was just being called up to play. And that was the highlights for him. So I think he said Rizzo was calling him Puzzle Jesus at one point when they were in the original tribes. That's pretty much what I got out of his interview. He just wasn't equipped to play the game hard and to succeed.
Okay.
Yep, good deal. Thanks, Pete. Next up, we got a call from Rebecca.
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Rebecca calling from California with my feedback for this week's episode of Survivor. I just want to say first that, Stacy, I stand with you. I think your picks were bold, and I appreciate playing bold.
Thank you.
Because, quite honestly, we all knew that it was either going to be blue losing and Jason being voted off, or yellow losing and either Sage or Shannon being voted off. And what you got to do is think about who's not going to be there, most likely past the merge, and burn those save points on those people. And save your save points for the ones you think are going to go far. I don't think it was unintelligent gameplay. I thought it was bold. Just thought it needed to be said.
There we go.
Question for everybody. Do you think Savannah was completely putting on and pandering for tension by even suggesting the insanity that she was going to vote Juwan off because he used her water bottle? I felt like a producer took her aside and was like, we need a little bit more tension. This is also boring and predictable. Maybe say you're going to vote out Juwan, and maybe because he annoys you. Because in their right mind who has any bit of strategy would not have voted out Jason and therefore had the higher numbers going into the merge. I was annoyed. I was like, she's not going to vote for him. They're trying to make the game tense. And yeah, lo and behold, every single person voted for Jason. So nice try. I didn't buy it. I loved Sage's eye rolls. They were absolutely giving me life. And I loved how Shannon thought she was playing so hard, but nobody's buying what you're selling, Shannon. And next week, even though they're going to have this whole tribe mix up and change it all around again, I'm putting all my money on Shannon. I think no matter where she ends up, she's going to be the one to go out. And I will stand by that. And since I have to fly to New York first at like 6 a.m. on Wednesday morning, I'll probably make my picks right now. I'm going to vote Shannon as my vote off. I hope I don't get burned. I love Sage. I hope Sage sticks around for a while. A word about the chickens. My tiny little grandma, all like 5 foot nothing of her and 90 pounds of her, once a week used to be delivered a live chicken in Massachusetts, and she would kill it, pluck it, cook it, and dinner was served. I don't know 2 generations later that I could do this, but I applaud those guys that they could do it with the barest amount of supplies. I thought it was pretty cool. Very, very, very much enjoyed this episode, even though it was still quite predictable. I hope the shakeup coming for the next episode makes it harder to predict what's going to happen. And I can't wait to hear what everyone else has to say. Thank you, Joanne and Stacy, for all that you do. Play bold, Stacy.
Yeah, you betcha.
Yeah, it worked out great for you too.
Two
huh?
times in a row, yes.
Yeah.
As my score plummets. There might be a little something behind, might be something strategy-wise with her supporting me there. I don't know.
Well, I think any tribe that Shannon's on, she goes.
Really?
I don't know, because since there's 3 tribes, I don't know who's going to lose. But if her tribe loses, I think she will go.
That grifter chameleon kind of strategy that she has works really well in new environments when people are off guard.
Yeah, but how long does it take? Less than the 2-day cycle. Stephen had her number morning after first.
I'd say it gives her a good 24
meditation.
hours. Yeah. And we could be in store
maybe.
for another 1-day cycle with this silliness from anyway.
Okay, you said you wasn't going to.
Right. All right. Thanks,
You're
Rebecca.
failing.
Yes, already. Thanks, Rebecca. Next up, we got a call from Rashmi.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy and all my survivor friends. I am in the top 4. Woohoo! I think I should just go by lotto. It's never happened before for me that I've got all my vote outs right. And I had just thought Jason would go. When the episode started, I thought it was really pointed heavily towards Shannon going.
Yeah.
But then Jason went, which was sad, but I got a point. Now, starting off with the highlights for me, number 1 is Savannah. Oh my God, she takes everything so personally. My bottle, me. And she gets a little bit annoying. And then there's Sage. I just think her lips are gonna melt and fall off, and all those eye rolls and facial expressions. Yes, she can be entertaining, but my eyes just go towards those lips of hers. And then, of course, there's Shannon. I think she's going next. Oh my God. They have to get one of those sort of people in there first. They had Panu, at least she's not crying and weeping. And now, then there was Jawan, who, poor guy, I don't think he realizes he's at the bottom and he's going to get kicked out really soon. And what with the water bottle fiasco. And it was wonderful to see the chickens come back to roost in the latest episode. It's always good fun, though I don't like seeing them being slaughtered. And all the girls ran away and the guys had to behead them and feather them. And then I'm sure they must have sort of roasted them, and in the pot we saw was just the pieces cut up. So that was interesting. I wonder now who is going to get the chickens out of the 3 tribes. I'm not happy at all about seeing 3 tribes again, but hey, this is a new age Survivor, which I think Jeff loves a lot. And yeah, I still love Survivor, whatever happens. And on that note, cheers.
Cheers. Thanks, Rashmi. The chickens typically stay at whatever camp they're at.
They're stay at Calla.
Yeah, I think that's what we saw, right?
That's where it's always been. It stays at whatever tribe it was at.
Because we saw
The people change.
Jawan
but
and
the camp
Steven
doesn't.
chasing them there. Yeah. Yeah, good deal. Thanks, Rashmi. Next up, we got an email from Tara in New York. Hi, Joanna, Stacy, and Survivor friends. The more I watch this season, the more I find myself wanting to fast forward to the good part. Yeah, Jeff messed that up, didn't he? Since Jeff said the season really heats up after the merge, I was looking forward to some real action coming next week, but nope, back to 3 tribes again. I actually face-palmed watching the preview. I believe it. I think I did too. Moving forward, I hope production takes a lesson from this season and finally ends their love affair with the 3-tribe format. Anyway, now that I have that out of my system, any survivor's better than no survivor, so I still have a few thoughts. I watched this week with a good friend who also happens to be my ex. When Shannon woke up Steven to fill him in on her genius plan, he laughed and laughed, saying, "If she did that to you, it wouldn't be pretty." I have to give Stephen major points for smiling and going along with it because I admit he was right. Most likely, I would have told her exactly where she could stick her plan if I woke up with her yammering in my face. Besides that, has this girl actually watched Survivor? Q's identical alliance of 6 was the running joke of 46, yet Shannon says it's the greatest idea ever because it's so unexpected. I'd forgotten that. Her oblivious overconfidence is hilarious. Speaking of Shannon, watching Sage react to her theatrics was so much fun. Sage has been so patient just letting Shannon hang herself, and it's finally starting to pay off. I think we all know that feeling when other people come to realize something you've known for a long time. It's such a relief, as we could see when the rest of the tribe finally came to her to talk. Instantly spilling the tea on Rizzo's idol overshadowed all of Shannon's talk. I just hope it doesn't come back to haunt her later. Like you both, I was sure that New Kella would lose the challenge and couldn't wait to see Sage get the last word. Unfortunately, I guess we will just have to wait. The rest of the episode was kind of blah for me. I would like to quickly mention the chickens, though. I don't want to ruffle or rustle any feathers, but I hated it. Maybe I'm being a bit hypocritical since I do eat meat now, but I was a vegetarian for 20 years, and there's just no good reason I can see to bring back the chicken dilemma. Without rice, everyone is starving, and it felt like the men of the tribe were almost forced to kill a captive rooster for the sake of their games, along with their masculinity. To top it off, we actually had to hear it. So many aspects of the whole thing made me uncomfortable, so I'm giving a big thumbs down. I hate to end on a negative note, but that's just about it for me. I was sad to see Jason's demise, but it was obvious as soon as the challenge ended. Even though we're getting another tribe swap instead of the merge next week, I'll be watching with high hopes as always. It will be a little harder to pick a vote out, so I can't wait to hear what everyone else has to say. Thanks for everything, Joanne and Stacy. You're the best. Thank you, Tara. You did awesome. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Ryan.
Hello, Joanna Stacy. It's Ryan from Central Iowa. A solid episode. It was great to see my USB Nate doing so well. 3 things that kind of stuck out to me. Jason, I'm going to miss your lion's mane hair. Even his killer puzzle skills couldn't save him. Jason, why did you not play your shot in the dark? 2 weeks in a row you could have played it and you didn't. I really like the challenge. They've been really strong the last 2 weeks, and I've enjoyed the journey as well. I liked that additional option, and Nate did a great job turning what he knew was going to be a negative into something that's a positive for him. I think that's one thing we are seeing that Nate is very strong at, is knowing where he's weak and then surrounding himself with people that are better at that moment. Or, like in this episode, knowing that there was no way he was going to be able to outlast MC, trying to find that advantage. And so he just found a way to make it work out for him. Number 3, the faces of Sage versus the multiple personality changes of Shannon. Shannon appears to not have her own personality, her own identity. Throughout this season, especially these last 2 episodes, we have saw Shannon kind of take on the personas and the persons of the people around her. She'll have one persona in one moment with Alex and having this moment with him, and then in another moment she completely changes and flips to this other person around Christina. As viewers of this, it was frustrating. As viewers of it, you're just kind of like, trying to get everyone hoping that the other teams around them sees it. I know Sage made a comment about how it is poverty-like, but I don't see it that way. I see it way worse. I'm really liking the faces of Sage and her reactions to the camera, especially in this episode when Shannon was trying to be her BFF soul sister. This could be a good rivalry depending on how long the tribe laughs and what happens at the Mergatory. Shannon just comes off as so fake and so disingenuous. I am glad that her tribe is seeing it. This was a good episode, maybe an 8 with the upped gameplay. It feels like this episode grabs. We were watching it with Doe's family this week. It was brought up that we are done with the over-dramatic emotions in this season. More gameplay, please. Shout out to my coworkers who are listening and playing JSFL for the first time. T. Sullivan and Paula. I have them hooked, Joanna and Stacy. So, Joanna and Stacy, sorry this is long, but thank you so much for all you do. I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of the listeners. See you later. Bow, 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 bow.
Not sure what that is, but good job on the other stuff. Thanks, Ryan. Next up, we got a call from Brandon.
Hey there, Joanne and Stacy. Brandon from Indiana here. Didn't want to take a lot of time between watching the show and recording my feedback just because, I don't know, I've got a lot of thoughts. It just ended, and I am amazed that we just watched 90 minutes of a program that really could have been 20 minutes. What? That was the most just blatant misdirect by the editors with the Jawan stuff. He didn't even get a vote. Rizzo got a vote. I mean, I guess one vote makes sense, but what is happening? I don't know. And then the... Oh, I'm sorry, kitty. I'll be with you in just a second. Sorry, that's my cat, Wayman. He is upset because I haven't followed him to the living room for the 3rd time after this episode. Anyways, the next on is what I'm really wanting to talk about. It's the reason that I wanted to record this right now because I don't know. Jeff said new tribes, and I need to go back and watch it again. I could have sworn I saw 3 lanes on that challenge, and if we go back to 3 tribes after this, I'm going to lose my mind. I don't know. Oh, not everything that's unexpected is a good thing. Oh my goodness. Please do not put us back in 3 tribes. We finally have some interesting intermingling between these players, and we're going to throw it all away again. I don't know. This seems bad. And now apparently Rizzo is on the chopping block according to the next on, when so far this episode it seemed like everyone loves Rizzo. I don't know what's happening in the show, and I feel like it's because the editors aren't letting me know what's happening in the show. I'm a little bit frustrated. I'm sorry. I just want to say that I didn't think that was a good episode of Survivor. I thought it was quite a bore for the most part. I was really excited for a short time when I thought we were going to get the sage turn on Shannon, and then it just was like the most obvious vote out possible. So, hope everybody got their points. Can't wait to hear what everyone thinks. See you next week.
I didn't.
Thanks, Brandon. Brandon got in very first. He was so agitated that he got his feedback in before
no one
Pete.
beats Pete.
Yeah. Oh, good deal. Thanks, Brandon. Next up, we got a call from Pat.
Yay.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. This is Pat from Missouri, driving across Oklahoma this rainy Saturday morning. Wanted to say, first time calling this week or this time, but long-time listener. I have a game I play with myself and my friends. It's called When I Become President, and I make up rules that really basically only affect me. But my rule is when I become president, there cannot be more than 2 people with the same letters of the first name on Survivor for girls and boys. So you can have 2 girls with an S, 2 boys with a J. That's more than plenty because there is too many women this year that just kind of look alike and their names all start with S's. I cannot keep track of who is who, honestly. But I guess saying that, maybe that's not true because I cannot stand Shannon. I just think she's crazy fake. And everybody, I think, that watches the show knows that. But also, I have to question, is it part of Survivor kind of sucking up to everybody?
Yeah.
You go along with what they like. So in a way, I get that. But I don't know if she's over the top or producers are just highlighting her doing that. But I don't like her because of her. To me, she's forcing everyone to go along with her praying, with her beach mornings. I don't have a problem with that, doing that, but what I do have a problem with is on Survivor, you don't want to be an outcast. You have to go along, and so for me, she's not really giving people an option. It's like, you have to do this, and I don't like that because I think there's people there that also doesn't like. But I have to say that my USB. I like to call her Invisible Sophie. And I don't know how she's going to make it or if she's going to make it, but I wish I would have picked Visible Sophie because I really love that girl. She's just super cute. She reminds me of my daughters. I really hope she makes it a long ways. This season has been good. Not great, but it's been good. I got spoiled over the summer because I watched Australian Survivor, and it's like, oh my God, they get to eat. They had 2 challenges each episode. Mm-hmm. I'm spoiled. Wish we could go back to old Survivor. One last thing, Jason, I like to see when people get voted off, I like to see them be upset. I don't want to hear them say, well, I'm just happy I made it this far. I don't like that. I don't want somebody to get mad and throw a fit and cuss out people, but I want them to be mad. I want them to be upset. I don't want them to be like, oh, just happy I made it. I don't like that. I don't know why he was on the show. I don't know why he was an alternate, but I was just disappointed in his lack of gameplay, just lack of knowledge, it seems like. I missed you guys over the summer. And sorry I haven't called yet. It's just been really busy, and I haven't been terribly excited about the season. But like Joanne says, it's Survivor. I'll always watch, and I'll always love it. Till next week, see y'all.
Awesome. Thanks, Pat.
All right. It's good to hear your voice again.
I wish Jason would have made a comment at least about who had told him to vote for Rizzo. He missed a big opportunity to really sow some discontent.
Nobody told him to vote for Rizzo. He's the one that brought up Rizzo.
Well,
to
I think maybe Savannah and Sophie had mentioned that as a possibility.
I don't know. I didn't see that. I saw Jason bring it up with Jawan. Like, I think we should go for Rizzo.
Yeah, I'm trying to recall exactly where it was I believe it was in an interview that I saw him talking about that. So I think someone else told him that. So he missed an opportunity to stir things up a little bit. Thanks, Pat. Great to hear from you again. Next up, got an email from Matt and Summer in East Tennessee.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor fans. Even with the predictable outcomes, we are still overall enjoying this season, and this was a solid episode for us. The expanded view of camp life continues to be entertaining and insightful, especially with having 2 large tribes. It is giving us so many opportunities to yell at the TV from our couch.
Yeah.
For example, Jawan, what are you doing? It seems very hard to believe he isn't swiping Savannah's things on purpose, but his reactions and immediate apology when confronted do seem genuine. Savannah might be smiling on the outside, but she is raging inside and no doubt will have her revenge. We're definitely getting a Parvati 2.0 vibe from her. Speaking of smiling on the outside, we loved the Sage versus Shannon story this week. Neither of us are huge Sage fans, but she handled the whole situation like a Survivor pro by hiding her emotions from Shannon and gave her the perfect, "Hey girl, love you, mean it" line over and over. We were laughing out loud with every hug and eye roll. The addition of a co-op aspect to the journey was neat, but this challenge caused the loudest shout at the TV of the episode. We feel like MC may have made a big mistake here. She isn't our current USB, but we really like her. Credit to Nate for somehow coming out of that with his vote and blocking MC from the potential advantage. For the second week, we were really impressed with the challenge. Did anyone else notice the war face that Jawan put on at the end of the challenge? He really seemed to be in his element at that moment.
Yeah, they featured him in the whole slow-mo thing when they were carrying it up the beach. That was a long carry, too.
Jason was almost a good player, which is a shame.
I like that, yeah.
With some more social skills, we have to think he might have done well. He seems earnest and pleasant, so maybe this season will be his Cochrane moment. We think Shannon is likely the next vote out, but can easily see Jawan going if the other tribe loses. Can't wait to hear what the other superfans have to say. One last thing we've been wondering all season is, if it's so hot out on the island, why do half the castaways seem to be bundled up like it's November in Wisconsin?
Ooh, I got this one. I know.
Especially Sophie B. in her Assassin's Creed pajamas. Thanks so much for all you do. Have a great week. All right. Thanks, Matt and Summer.
This one is from experience. When you're not eating, when you're not putting food in the furnace, you get cold. And the people around you will not be cold, but you will be.
Yeah.
So,
I get chills sometimes if I haven't eaten enough.
Uh-huh.
And I start getting cold, which usually I'm not cold.
And Sophie B, her metabolic rate is absolutely slowing down. So I get why she's bundled up. That's a great observation, but I got to believe that's what's driving it. Mm-hmm. Good deal.
Well, Shannon does it too. She bundles up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, several people do. But.
In the mornings, yep, or during the night.
Well, yeah, and even though it's very hot during the day, sometimes in the early morning or at night.
Yeah, sometimes they're getting a pretty good
it gets cool.
variance in the temperature,
right.
Even though it is tropical. Good stuff. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Summer. Next up, we got a call from Anderson.
Hey, Joanne and Stacey, this is Anderson from North Carolina calling with my feedback for week 5. Oh, sorry. Just looking for an idol under my sit-out bench, and didn't find anything there. But I thought from the episode, well, I didn't get a vote-out point for the first time this season. Congrats to Rebecca from Northern California for making your picks correct. It was either between Shannon and Jason, and I did not go with my gut, and I picked Shannon because I was probably not what Survivor was leaning toward, and I paid for it by only getting 4-point week. I have a quick question. What is the closest anyone has gotten to, like, the perfect score in JSFL? I've only been around since 45, I think. Yeah, this was an overall decent episode, only the second I've watched this season. I was watching basketball while watching Survivor, so yeah, that was fun. And next week, I think the vote out next week is going to be Shannon, and yeah, basically not too bad. Bye.
All right, thanks, Anderson. I have no idea. I don't know that we've ever kept any stats on the closest. We've never had anyone have a perfect score. I think we probably would have remembered that, but no idea what the closest is. It can be such a guessing game at the end, although there's certainly been some seasons where things were spoiled and, we've had to deal with aspects of that in the game. And this very well could be another one of those based on everything we've heard preseason. Thanks, Anderson. Next up, we got a call from Drew.
Hey, Joanne and Stacey. Hey, everyone. This is Drew. So my life has been crazy lately. It's interesting. I'm not doing a show. I'm not doing Christmas Carol this year, which I often do the last 5 years or so, but I've been so busy at work. There's some big moves, some big changes happening, and they're good, but it's just taking up a lot of my focus. And I'm caught up on the episodes. I don't usually get them till Thursday, Friday, sometimes even Saturday, and I always listen to the recap and the listener feedback, but I have forgotten to put in my picks the last 2 weeks in a row. I don't even want to look, because in my Heart of Hearts side challenge, I'm probably like, well in the basement, like the sub-basement, so maybe it's a good thing I didn't I didn't join this season. But the kids are all in. They are super invested, and they're making references. They're starting to make references to past seasons. Adelaide will never get over Say, I think. She's still her favorite. They still think about Kyle, and I mean Kyle, not last season Kyle, but the Kyle before. So anyway, they're really into it. And in fact, if I'm, like I said before, if I'm kind of lost or if I get distracted or not paying attention, they fill me in. But what I was going to say about this episode, there are some people really starting to develop and that I like, and I feel like we're not seeing enough of them. I feel like we're getting partial stories here and there, like Savannah, Joanne. There's some things going on that I'm okay, if you say so. Just I'm taking it on their authority. Oh, it was last week. I was sitting there, I guess a few days before this episode, and I was just, who even went home last week? And I could not, for the life of me, remember, you guys, this is crazy. This is, anecdotal. It's not really to do particularly with the episode. But what I think must have happened is I fell asleep right before tribal council, because I remember the lead up, but I didn't remember anything about the council or who went home. And then I must have fallen asleep. And then when it was over, I was, okay. And just stayed asleep on the couch and then woke up and finally went to bed hours later, but completely forgot that I had been watching Survivor and that I didn't know the results. So I watched the last 10 minutes so I can find out a little bit more about Matt leaving. And then this week I was like, okay, I got to focus at least through the end. And so at least I know what happens. And then even as I was looking through your recap today, I was like, wait, who was he said Jason. And then, okay, I could picture it. I was disappointed with him. I'm glad he got a chance because I know he was an alternate. Yeah, God bless him for not really knowing what was going on out there. So here's the thing, Sage, I like Sage a lot in some ways, but she's off-putting in so many ways too. I think she's insightful, but I think she just needs to, and I know they're showing us the quirkiest, goofiest that they can, but anyway, I'm going to head out. Everyone have a good weekend. I'm going to put in my picks now to avoid having to remember later. That's what I'm just, I should always just do this. As soon as I listen to the recap, call in and put in my pick. So I can always change it later. Have a good weekend, everyone. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Drew. Yeah, if you don't put them in this week, you're going to get dropped. So
That sounded more like a bless his heart.
it did, didn't it? Yeah. So you were having trouble remembering right before we got started. Now, who got voted off last week?
I know,
Jason didn't make an impression on you either.
Yes, but this.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, we have a lot going on.
Yep.
So.
All right, next up, we got a call from David.
Tribal Council was a wake-up call for me. Right now, my torch is the only yellow torch on this beach that's supposed to be yellow. Hey, Joanne and Stacy and Survivor fans, it's David in Pittsburgh, and that week wake-up call came from my now ex-USB Jason, who never seemed to be playing the game until the very last minute. I picked him because of the story of being an alternate and then coming into the game, and I thought that would make a great story if he wins Survivor. But from the beginning, other than his puzzle skills, I just had a picture of Jason looking blank wherever he was, and I kept thinking, where is Jason when it came to confessionals? I probably should have gone with MC because she had the same kind of story, but she's playing a much better game, except she's such a challenge beast that I think she's got a big target on her back. I think Jason thought his luck was bad because he got reshuffled into a strong team, but I think the one who really had the worst luck was Matt, because Matt was in the alliance of 4, Jason was on the outs, and when they got reshuffled, Matt was the one to go home. The fact that at both tribal councils, Jason never played his shot in the dark. And I thought that was interesting because in this case, everyone voted for Jason. If he had succeeded at his shot in the dark, then Rizzo would have gone home. So I'm really surprised that the team would have let that happen. But with Jason, luck was against him from the beginning, and I just don't think he was a very strategic player. And I will say no more about him for the rest of the series. I did want to make sure to mention the confessionals by Alex and MC when they talked about being bullied. MC was considered not feminine enough, and Alex was considered not masculine enough. And I thought, wow, what great players they are, and what they seem to be such great people. And I'm glad that they didn't let any bully take the fight out of them, that they showed that they can succeed. Oh, and we finally hear from Purple Sophie. At one point, she was with a team, and I thought, wait, who is that? And for Sophie B, if it's so hot out there, why is she so bundled up? She's like wearing a sweater and long pants. I don't get it. And we've been through all the predictable boots. Nicole, Annie, Jeremiah, Matt, Jason. Come on, let's not shuffle. Just merge them and let's get the game going. I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.
I like that. Just merge them. Merge them already. Thanks, David. Next up, we got an email from Crystal in Santa Rosa, California. Boo. Sorry for the lapse in my feedback. Definitely watching, but just tardy due to spooky season activities. This is my favorite time of the year, and the vineyards are turning orange and red. So beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
What a wacky bunch of characters this season has given us. I'm with you guys in that Jawan is a riddle. For the life of me, I can't figure out if he's got a real sense of what's going on, or is he clueless? Is it his anxiety that makes him seem confused? Yet he'll then say or do something strategic and smart. Very unique guy. I'm still very annoyed by Savannah. She's either getting the mean girl edit, or she's truly a self-absorbed woman. Everyone seems more focused on Shannon's manipulative nature, which is completely true, but is nobody seeing Savannah's tactics? Either way, not enjoying her at all. I'm with you on that. People I love and think will make it to the merge. MC is smart, strong, and knows how to talk to people. Sage, girl, you have so much potential. Please don't waste it. Steven's smart, self-aware, and a good judge of character. I think he got over some of the earlier insecurities from the first couple episodes and has found his footing. I'd love to see him and MC go far together. Nate really demonstrated skills with that journey challenge with MC. That was brilliant thinking on the fly. I cut him slack on the remaining sand in the timer faux pas because it was so good. Sophie B is completely worn down and if she doesn't get some food and rest, she will go soon. She barely participated in the last tribal, and it was noticed. Her legs were hyperactive, though, which tells me she's feeling anxious. Or is she cold? There you go. Bingo. Because did you all notice some people wearing sweaters on the beach while others were in tanks or shirtless? Weird. I really hope she can pull it together. She could conquer Savannah in a second if she had her strength back. She knows a con when she sees one. If she makes it to the merge, I think she will play Shannon and Savannah against each other and watch the explosion. Okay, that's what I got for now. Again, apologies for being tardy, but I'm enthusiastically watching each week and always listen to all the Survivor fans' feedback as it's a highlight of my week. Gotta go carve a pumpkin now. Have fun, everyone. Thanks, Crystal. Great to have you back. Next up, we got a call from Parker.
Hey, this is Parker from Indiana, and for all the negativity I've been giving this season for its predictability, gotta be honest, it got me. It got me this week. I was so hooked on the Shannon going home thread that I put Jason safe. I was convinced it was going to happen. I was convinced that that tribe was going to lose immunity. And so when the challenge was happening, I was actually super invested. And also, it's what I asked for a couple weeks ago, throwing a ball in a basket. It wasn't a puzzle, which did not help my theory that Jason was going to win the puzzle, win victory for the tribe, and then send the other tribe to tribal. But nonetheless, very exciting to see two different kinds of challenges in a row, change it up. I was on the edge of my seat during the challenge, and I was, no way, they actually lost. There's no way. And then as soon as they lost, I was, oh no, I'm going to lose a save point. But then the edit got me again. I thought that I was hooked on Jawan going home. I was, dude, I'm about to lose my USB in this episode. No way. Because the story has been setting up for Jawan, just making all these mistakes. We see him make a couple of good plays recently, so he's been doing good stuff, but we just keep seeing him making mistakes over and over and over again. And then I was actually surprised at Tribal when it was Jason. I thought this episode was a huge improvement this season. I really enjoyed it. I mean, the journey was even fun because I love what Nate is doing. He is shaping up to be a really great player. I don't know who is on 50, but I hope that Nate is one of them. I would be thrilled about that. I loved this episode. I thought it was a lot of fun. And then we have the chicken stuff. And this just made me think of something that was in my head from rewatching old seasons. There's no Southern people on Survivor anymore. Once every couple seasons we get a Southern person. Like we had Kyle in 47. There used to be so many ranchers and farmers and stuff. There's no JT anymore. There's nobody that's just, oh yeah, I know how to kill a chicken. No problem, right? And so this is the problem with just keep casting people from LA. You gotta expand your horizons a little bit. Get people that are gonna be less traumatized about this. I mean, the whole killing chicken thing has brought fights and stuff for years, but I don't think it's ever brought, wow, killing a chicken is a life-changing experience. It's never brought that. That reminded me, I was, wow, yeah, there used to be so many cowboys and farmers. What happened? Where'd they go? Why did we stop casting them? Anyway, I really love this episode, and that's how I got. I will see you all next time.
Excellent. Enjoyed your walk and talk. Thanks, Parker. Next up, we got a call from Shahin.
Hi, Joanne, Stacey, and all Spy fans. Hope everyone's well and safe. I thought this was an average episode, and it really leads into a difficult conversation to be had, because in amongst the great tribe time, in amongst the great journey, the great challenge that we had for immunity, I think there's been so many missteps. I think it started before the season even began, where Jeff came, or someone from Survivor came and said, this season is going to start really slowly, but then it really heats up later on. And I thought, when you just prep everyone beforehand in such a manner, you're really asking us to come in from such a low point. And we already came in with low expectations with this season, just because there was so much focus on Survivor 50 before 49 was even discussed, or trailers had been revealed, or castmates had been discussed. There was more hype about 50, and it was not due to the fans, it was due to them. They were hyping it up from their end, that being Survivor production themselves. So I felt like the focus being so much on that and them then doubling down on 49 starting slowly, really, for me individually as a fan, I really came into Survivor season 49 feeling down. And then for every single exit to be so telegraphed, like for even a medical exit to be so telegraphed, with the week before, next time on Survivor, pretty much telling me as an individual, as a viewer, that this guy is going to leave. What did that achieve for me as a fan? I would have rather that not been next time Survivor, so I would have been blown away. I don't know if it's the new generation or them thinking the new generation has to be spoon-fed. I don't know. I just feel like Survivor is becoming dumbed down. It's not the gameplay per se, because I think there are some excellent players and they don't need their games to be dumbed down. I think production is dumbing things down for us. I know you have to bring the new age of Survivor and we've got 2 generations after whoever else has watched Survivor beforehand. You had 2 other generations and now we've had 2 or 3 that have come since. But you need to think about everyone, and you can't just dumb everything down. Subsequently, I think that Savannah, for example, another thing that connects it is that I think that there was a bit of a fabrication on production's end for Savannah. I'm really convinced that they went up to Savannah and said, hey, can you build another narrative where Jason might have a chance of staying, even though we know and you've conveyed that Jason is going to leave today. Can you just give him a bit of a chance to make it look like that you might be considering Jawan? With these bits where you've had a little bit of an issue with Jawan, let's spin something in to make it look like that Jawan might be on the way out. But there was no logical sense to any of that. Nothing about that storyline made any sense whatsoever. This whole link between Hina and Keller, no sense whatsoever. There was no logical sense. And with Shannon, I think it was me last week, there was someone that had discussed someone talked about Shannon being like, Coach, I reckon it might have been me, might have been someone else too, but I think I mentioned in episode 2 or episode 3, feedback. Yeah, I hope she leaves. Terrible human being, don't like her, and I don't care. Anyway, thanks for all that you do. Cheers, bye.
Thanks, Shahin. Add your voice to Rebecca's there. I'm thinking production was trying to engineer that alternate storyline. Good stuff. Next up, we got a call from Joe.
Well, they're still spoon-feeding us the obvious vote-outs. Not quite as painfully telegraphed as past episodes, but come on. This week was Jason or Shannon. Hello, Joanne and Stacy and all Survivor superfans. This is Joe from Huntersville. I gotta say, this wasn't one of my favorite episodes. The editing team clearly hit the snooze bar and mailed it in again. Have you noticed how many bug bites Sage has? Some of those might turn into blackheads. But she's been getting a lot of screen time lately, and not the negative kind like earlier in the season. That's a shift. I found it interesting how Jawan said he wanted to work with Jason, yet sabotaged his chances by throwing the rock pick selection for the journey so that Jason would not be selected. Strategic, but cold. Nate's proving to be a crafty player. He worked with MC, got her to do exactly what he wanted. Very sneaky. He started to remind me of Jeremy Collins, who's now co-hosting the On Fire podcast with Jeff. Also, who else appreciated that no one lost their vote during the journey this time? That was refreshing. Now, about the immunity challenge. I'm surprised they're still giving out chickens. Jeff mentioned PETA doesn't have an issue with it, which I didn't expect. Could you kill a chicken if you had to? I think I could, but I'd definitely prefer not to. Also, do hens need roosters to lay eggs?
No.
I'm not a poultry expert. That challenge was a nail-biter, and Keeley didn't throw the match, contrary to other predictions last week. Voting out Jason means that Hina loses a strong puzzle solver. What's going on with the return of the 3 tribes next week? During the cart push, it looked like Hina was struggling, but I couldn't tell who was doing the heavy lifting. I think the Yellow Tribe is headed back to Tribal Council. My prediction for next week, Shannon's the next to go, but she and Sage seem to be getting along great. Besties to the end. That's all I've got. I'm looking forward to hearing from the other Survivor fans. My USB Savannah still has a shot. This is Joe from Huntersville, signing off.
All right. Thanks, Joe. You only need the rooster if you want baby chicks.
Yeah, Sage had said that she has pimples, and because she was telling Shannon, if I only had a mirror.
Yeah, okay.
So she'd be popping her pimples.
I see. Okay. Thanks, Joe. Next up, we got an email from Maddie in Arizona.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy. It's the end of the day on a pretty busy week at school, so I'm pretty tired. I'm going to keep this feedback short and sweet this week. I thought that was a smart move by Nate on the journey in order to keep his vote. It would have been nice for MC's game if she had gotten the advantage, but Nate was already stressed out after losing a bunch and tribal council to look forward to, so I'm sure it was a relief for him. I was disappointed to see Jason go. I thought he was going to be a really fun player to watch further after the merge, but it was also his fault for not being aggressive enough strategically earlier on. This week, I think I'm going to go back to putting predictable vote outs and choose Jawan to go home. Unlike last week, when I admit I overthought it, I honestly do believe, though, that the original Hina Alliance would have tried to throw the challenge if they hadn't let their pride get in the way. They're used to winning, and they just can't handle seeing a stain on their perfect winning streak, even if it's the best move going into the merge. Anyways, thank you guys for all you do. I hope you guys have a good weekend. All right, thanks, Addie. Up next, we have a call from Justin.
Hey, Joanne and Stacy and all the Survivor Superfans, it's Justin from Michigan. So I really enjoyed this episode. I think it's the best of the season by far. Despite the predictable boot of Jason, I thought that they did misdirect very, very well, showing that Savannah still not getting along with Jawan and his fumbles. He's a really hot and cold player. I thought it was brilliant that he tried to rig the rock draw and it worked. But then he has all these missteps with Savannah, who is in a power position. And that just, he already kind of started on the bottom. He explained it with getting frustrated over not starting the fire, and they showed Savannah's confessional about how that concerned her, and that's just kind of spiraled on. So at least he does realize he is on the bottom, so he is hopefully in a position where he can switch and get some leverage if he survives to the merge. With this next iteration of tribe swaps, I won't spoil it in case people don't want to know, but Mike Bloom put out what the tribes are, the new tribes, and it's going to be 3 tribes of 4. So looking at those without giving them away, I'm going to go with Nate. I think he's been playing really well, and I think he's just kind of got screwed with this new iteration of swap. So that's who I'm going for as a vote out. Somebody who really impressed me was Sage this episode. I think last episode we kind of saw her and Shannon battling for the position, and I think this episode Sage really took that. So I think she can carry that over, and she keeps herself above Shannon in the pecking order. So I think her stock is up. I really still like what I'm seeing out of MC. Yeah, looking at the tribes, it's Nate or Sophie for me. Sophie Bellardi are probably in the most danger. On that 3rd tribe, it's a little more open, but I'll let other people discuss or look for themselves if they want to know what the tribe breakdown is. So looking forward to this swap. I'm really looking forward to the merge, but it looks like we get one more little wrinkle before then. So looking forward to what everyone else has to say.
All right. Thanks, Justin. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Jade-n-Christine. They're back.
Yay!
Hi, Joanne and Stacy. This is Jade.
And Christine.
From Hawaii.
Aloha.
We're back.
Yes.
Yeah, I just haven't really had much to say this season, so I'm like, I don't know, Mom.
Yeah, I was also traveling. I was in Japan, and it was amazing, but no survivor, except I did listen to the listener feedback a couple of times, so I was able to make my picks on my phone.
At least you still got the picks in.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
Feedback.
Yeah, I guess this episode, we had a few things that we were kind of interested in, like the journey. I really liked the journey before where they did the coconuts in the net, but this journey, I'm so tired of watching them suffer all the time.
Yeah.
Like once in a while it's okay, but all the time it's just sad.
Yeah, it is hard to watch. And I didn't feel like they really had a chance to get that advantage because they had to use up all of their energy getting down to the place where they actually saw where they could change it up, and then wasn't good.
Yeah.
And then but I did like the way that Nate navigated the whole situation with MC. Yeah. And Juwan stacking the rocks, his boy Juwan.
Yeah.
To
That
get
was
him
pretty
there.
smart.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So how's your vote outs going since you've been able to put in your picks?
Yes. So thanks to the listener feedback, I've gotten 3 out of the 5 picks,
Awesome.
which is a lot more. Normally I just get 1 or 2 for the whole season.
Yeah.
But I'm way ahead of the game, so
Yeah, me too.
I'm feeling proud.
I mean, me too. Normally I just get 1 or 2. I've been way overthinking it. I'm like, oh, maybe things will be different this episode. Maybe Nukella will lose. No, I should just go with the obvious at this point. So at least I get my fantasy score up.
Right. And how's your USB doing?
He's actually doing okay. I like Alex. At first, I was a little worried when he was wanting to team up with Annie because I really didn't like Annie. But thankfully, she got voted out. That didn't work out. And now I think he's in a pretty good position. Although I don't know if he's super savvy, but I'll hang on to him, I think, for the merge. How about you?
Well, Alex is with Sophie B.
Yeah.
But Sophie B is not my USB. It's Sophie S, who is basically just complains about fruit.
The boring Sophie.
Yes. There's nothing there. And so unless she makes some significant moves or has something, then I think I will trade her off in the merge.
Yeah.
If she even makes the merge.
Yeah.
So,
we
we'll
just
see.
know nothing about her at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think's going to happen next time?
Oh, well, these little itty bitty teeny tiny tribes, it just means we're just going to have to throw a dart. We'll see. Throw a dart at the wall.
Yeah.
And listen to the listener feedback because that is key, right?
Yes, I'm going to try not to overthink it this time. Maybe I'll just ask Dad. He doesn't watch, but sometimes he still gets it right.
He's like a Survivor psychic.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try that. Who knows? But either way, it's Survivor. We love it. We're going to enjoy it.
We love it.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
All right. Great to hear from you again. Next up, we got a call from Jill.
Hi, Joanne, Stacey. Hi, Survivor fans. Jill in the Outback here. Don't women do a number on themselves? For weeks I've been admiring MC and her physique, and then she talks about being bullied and not liking herself, and I think a whole lot of us would have swapped places with her. I think you've got to find your own people and just don't listen to what anyone else says. I'm old enough now to be over all the bullshit crap. Oh, that was close. And it really is freeing to just not care what anyone else thinks. And while I've stepped outside the game, I may as well talk about the killing of the chicken too. I'm a firm believer that everyone needs to know where their food comes from and how it got to be on your plate. Good on the 2 men for doing the deed and providing for the rest of the tribe. And I just would have had a little bit more respect for the women if they had not so much killed the animal, but was part of the process of it. Okay, onto the game. We had Jason going. Really wasn't a huge surprise, but I think the editors did a pretty good job in giving us another option to think about, as unlikely as that was to happen as it turned out. I think Jeff said that it gets off to a slow start this season and it really ramps up, and I'm hoping that happens soon. I don't mind this season so far. I think it's been okay, but I'm ready to see some serious gameplay and blindsides and all that sort of stuff happening soon. I'm still liking MC, I'm still liking Stephen, I'm still liking Nate, and I'm still bemused by Sage and Shannon. Their relationship is an interesting one to watch. I'm hating the idea of 4 tribes next week when we just got used to the 2 tribes. It's been really good. So hoping that doesn't last for too long. Happy days, everyone. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Jill. Good job. Next up, got an email from Josh, the Plush Moose from Massachusetts. Dear Joanne and Stacey, like many soufflés, the episode started promisingly, growing, smelling good, filling out, and then it fell flat at the end. It was a good episode until the predictable finish. Here's my other observations. Jason said he was excited to still be there. He sounded as excited as comedian Stephen Wright. Yeah, the droll delivery, huh? Savannah doesn't like the Hina Hina chant. Good thing Hina didn't do a Maori rugby haka instead. Jason's between a rock and a hard place, and a rock and a hard place and a rock. To quote Ben from season 46, that does not rock. First, Jawan took Savannah's bag. Then he took her water bottle. If she gets voted out before him, will we see him in her hoodie? That would be great. Shannon, and like gleefully in it, right? Shannon repeatedly grabbing and stroking Alex's hand was kind of creepy. Mukbang, isn't that what happened to Bruce in season 44? when he hit his head in the mud pit. Mukbang is what I should have said. Yeah, that's good. Sage says Shannon is a shark who will eat your head. Thanks, Sage. Now I have an earworm about the man from Mars from Blondie's Rapture. Nate didn't sandbag it when he helped MC solve their prisoner's dilemma. Jawan stacked the deck for the rock draw. He has a future dealing at a shady casino. Nate knows how to eat an elephant. After 10 days of coconut, he's willing to try a bite. MC should be proud of having muscles. Girly girl MC would have lost her vote again. That's true. Nate used to have a pierced lip and pink hair. My brain is melting.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
No, I didn't see that either. Her new allies know Sage will be loyal to them because she ratted out her old tribe.
Yeah.
Proof in the pudding right there. As Nate goes, so goes Hina. He wanted a nap during his ordeal, so they all slept back at camp. Fun fact, Sage's favorite TV show is Dr. Pimple Popper, which is a real show. Most members of Kella were too chicken to stick around for the rooster's demise. Sage is a wolf and she wants to eat Shannon. Is Sage a wolf in goat's clothing? I wonder, could someone other than the ball retriever have gone through the cage's bars to help dig from outside? Christina looked miffed that she didn't earn an advantage for hanging out on the sit-out bench. Yeah. More Jeff commentary bias. Rizzo gets blamed for hitting Sophie even though the ball was headed there anyway. Fun fact, Christina's least favorite video game is Angry Birds. Jeff is hot and exhausted. Yelling mean things at people while they struggle is hard work. I wonder, will Sophie B spontaneously combust if she ever touches a flint? She does have that reverse Flint effect, doesn't she? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It doesn't feel like winning when you have to kill and pluck them. I'm going to say a prayer of thanks to the highest powers when Shannon's game gets sacrificed. Steven's poorly worded tale about his roommate's dog and killing the rat reminded me of the t-shirt about eating grandpa and the importance of punctuation. I almost fainted from shock when Purple Sophie S. started speaking. Former reporter Savannah doesn't want a 6v6 game because Survivor isn't basketball. She obviously wasn't a sports reporter. After her 5th tribal, Sophie B. has no gas left. I blame Jeff for keeping her up past her bedtime so often. Savannah letting Nate take control is like the kid in the back seat of the car letting Dad drive. Hina says this week's vote out wasn't a simple numbers vote. Right. Nate asking Savannah if she's okay voting for Jawan? Now that's a dad joke. I wonder if part of Jason's social game problem is that he has resting, confused, pained face. He does indeed. Parody song suggestion for the side challenge, T-Rex's Bang a Gong. Bang a Gong, let's pagong, move along. As an alternate, Jason shouldn't be in the season. The Hina tribe agreed. Next time, Chicken's on the loose. Shannon, Sage, Cold War escalates. Rizzo's Finney face plants. Install fear in hearts. And we now have 3.
Instill fear.
Okay. And we have 3 new teams of 4 in a challenge. Why not 12 teams of 1? Anyway, that's it for me for now. Thanks, Joanne and Stacy, for all you do. I can't wait to hear what the other fans have to say. Stay safe, everybody. Thanks, Josh. Good job, buddy. Next up, we got a call from Jeremiah.
Hello, Joanne and Stacy. Hello, Survivor friends. Jeremiah here with my feedback for this week's episode. An episode that it seems like a lot of us felt was pretty predictable, although I feel like most of the season's been pretty predictable. Granted, this particular episode, really depends on which tribe you decide to go with for who was going to go home. But pretty much everyone on our Facebook group was all under the impression it was either be Jason or Shannon. It kind of seems like that was the case. Obviously, Jason went home, but it did look like if the other tribe would have lost, we would have lost Shannon. But I do feel like this is a fascinating conversation to have. A lot of fans that we've had here on the Feedback podcast, on Facebook, our Facebook group, and even some of the comments you all have had, does kind of feel like the editing is a little different this season. They're not leaving as much mystery. They do seem to be, pretty much telling us what is going to happen. It definitely feels that way. But then again, maybe it just has a lot to do with the type of players that we have this season. We only have a few players I feel like are playing really well. Is that it? I don't know. It's an interesting thought. What do you all think? Is it the editing? Some other observations that I had in this particular episode. I want to talk about Savannah for a second. Someone who I actually do think is playing a pretty good game for the most part. But this notion that she was actually contemplating getting rid of Jamal, I don't know if I understand that. She seems to be under the impression that he would easily be someone would flip. I'm not sure where she's getting that. Keeping Jason to me seems completely unlogical. Now I know many people, many Survivor fans, have pointed out that maybe Shan is a little bit of a mean girl. I can't recall if you all have mentioned this. She does seem to have a little extra vindictive attitude towards Jamal. I understand that he's making huge mistakes by not paying attention to which water bottle he's using or which bag he's using, and I could see how that could rub her the wrong way. There is something about her that makes me think maybe there's something to this. I also wanted to quickly mention Nate, someone who I have not talked about through my own feedback. I really like this guy. I think he's playing an excellent game. He's in tight with Savannah and Rizzo, and I really think that could be a huge factor. Obviously, I'd love to see him win. As for next week is concerned, definitely looks like we're getting 3 tribes of 4, I guess. Oh boy. But after seeing the breakdowns of the tribes, I think I'm probably going to go with Shannon. And I'll close with a question. Have you all listened to On Fire podcast this season? Because I'm really liking what Jeremy is providing. He does not seem to suck up as much as the previous people that have been on there. I like he basically tells Jeff how he feels, even if he doesn't think Jeff's going to like it. Have you guys been noticed that? Anyway, all right, well, that's it for me. You all take care. Until next time, this is Jeremiah from Southern California.
I have not. I fell off listening. I think I listened to maybe the first 2, or for sure the first one, and I didn't hear anything that was particularly compelling from Jeremy. So I don't, I'll have to catch up a little bit and see.
And I don't listen to it.
Yeah.
I actually just don't have time to do that kind of thing anymore.
Now, Jeremiah's other question, I absolutely think it's the edit. The edit is all powerful when it comes to telling the story here. And they can make us think things that absolutely did not happen just by the way they juxtaposition shots, reaction shots in particular. That's like a real cheap editing trick where you can make it look like...
They've always done that.
Yeah, and I'm started to think that maybe they're playing the long game, that 49 is just... Here it is in Survivor terms. They're throwing 49 to make us feel 50 was that much better. This is my new theory.
I don't know that I think that, but...
Okay, we'll talk more about this, but that's just my answer to Jeremiah's question.
See how it ends out, but definitely they've always tried to manipulate what we think by even way back, like I remember, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Leslie Neese that said, they make it seem like I talk about this all the time. And I don't.
Leslie from Survivor China, talking about religion.
That's what they show.
They emphasized
that's all they show.
So that's what
as
you
my
think.
Character.
That's all you're given.
That's all you're given. And she said, not even close, but they didn't show it. And Malcolm telling us, I tried to be a villain. I gave them all kinds of stuff, and
season.
That's not how they wanted to convey me for this season. So they didn't show any of that.
Yes, it is all powerful. Okay, good questions. Thanks, Jeremiah. Enjoyed your feedback. Next up, we got a call from Jen.
Hi, everyone. This is Jen in California, and here are my thoughts on Survivor 49, Episode 5. On New Blue Team... So I can't just say the name. I don't know how to pronounce it. On the blue team, Shannon is playing too hard. Survivor is a social game, but social influence in Survivor is different than what it is in real life. People are more suspicious on Survivor when you're so social. I bet you in her real life, Shannon is very charismatic, well-liked, but the suspicion probably isn't there. But in the game of Survivor, everyone's suspicious, and they should be. It's interesting that Sage is seen as not a social player, but she really has a great read on Shannon, and Shannon is seen as a social and strategic player, but she does not see that Sage is onto her. I find that interesting. Actually, not only does Shannon not have a read on Sage, I don't think she has a great read on other players as well. When they got the chickens and the roosters as a reward, I was really afraid that the blue tribe was going to kill a chicken and not the rooster. But good for them. They sacrificed the right bird and they had a good meal. So good for them. The journey was very interesting. What a tough task carrying all of those sandbags. That challenge was definitely meant to just exhaust them. And I don't know if I'm the only one, but I really did not see the appeal of the run into the jungle and try and find the other component of this game, the advantage. It was too much to think about, and they were both so exhausted. I think that the right decision was made because they both, in completing the task, just preserved their vote, which was the most important thing. Why would you work so hard to move all those sandbags and then risk it all by running into the jungle for some tiny little random thing? And the immunity challenge was a good one. I liked all of the components. I liked carrying the cage. I liked the fact that they had to shoot the baskets from inside the cage. Yeah. So that was great. I liked Christina looking for something on the sit-out bench. Mm-hmm. Good for her keeping her head in the game. But when all was said and done at the end of the challenge, when Jeff said, I can gauge a season by how it impacts me, I thought, oh no, here comes the Jeff show. Yeah. And way to go, Jeff, making people cry. That makes good TV. I don't really think it makes good TV. Well, not all the time. And finally, at Tribal Council, I loved that Rizzo, in a very eloquent way, says that he's not eloquent. That was just so cute to watch. And it was interesting that both targets for elimination have names that start with J.A. I actually was fooled into thinking Savannah had voted for Jawan. And for the first time this season, I went with the predictable and obvious, I'm saying that in air quotes, the predictable, obvious vote-out choice, and I got a vote-off point. Very rare, and I'm happy about it. Well, that's it for me. Not the most exciting of episodes, but I'll take it. I'm not looking forward to next week if they are going to split up into micro-tribes, but I'll leave that there, and I can't wait to hear everyone else's thoughts. Till next week.
Excellent. Thanks, Jen. Good job. Next up, we got a call from Paul.
Hey, it's Paul, and I'm back in Louisiana, and it's good to be back here. Where to start? It must be hard to watch your season there on TV with friends and family, only to discover that not everyone liked you, and that a lot of your fellow players were throwing shade at you behind your back. It's got to be a horrible eye-opener, but we always say this. Now, in the past 2 episodes, I thought Jason acted very off from the little that we had previously seen of him, and he even looked completely different. Once he got to the new tribe, he had that innie look that characters have in the show Severance. Ooh, yeah. I mean, he was certainly Jason, but he had a darkness about him and harsher lines throughout his face. Weird. And why did Nate omit the reward part of the challenge when he told everyone what happened? That's something that could bite him later on in the game. And come on, does anyone really believe that a boat was sent there simply to make him work his butt off so he could keep his vote? We didn't see any reactions, but I'm sure people were scratching their heads at this. And as much as Savannah dislikes Jawan, well, I don't know if he was eavesdropping on her conversation in the shelter so much as he was lying there resting when Savannah decided to talk shop. Or did I completely miss the part where he walked over to their ongoing discussion and decided to rest there? If not, I think this is where Savannah's princess attitude came out. But he does irritate her, so I'll bet that something even as simple as his breathing could set her off. But I have to say that Jawan really did a lot of the heavy lifting and rallied his team forward while carrying that cage out of the water. At the same time, Nate did very little by holding the beam of the cage in the crook of his elbows. I mean, come on, that's doing nothing. And I have to say that although I completely understand where Sage is coming from, the faces that she keeps making could easily land her in trouble depending on who else notices them. I've got to confess that I like Sage because she's so observant, but man, is she quirky. I'll bet a lot of people who know her personally would say that she's an acquired taste. But as for MC, well, I've got to say that I absolutely love her. If Alex goes before the merge, I'm replacing my USB with MC. And I also like Nate as well, even if he has trouble lifting things. But I don't think that he's going to make it to the final 3. I'm pretty sure that Savannah will tend to that problem, if she's still around towards the end. And then there's Christina. I have to say that I initially didn't want to root for her, but she's so sweet in a good and genuine way. Unlike Shannon, who's playing so hard that her sweet and innocent act is becoming easier and easier to see through. And now, with all that said, I do believe that the correct choice was made in voting off Jason. As for the idea that his vote off would look like a direct assault on the old heinous tribe, well, with Jason gone, they have the numbers anyway, so Who cares? I can't even believe it was a semi-issue. However, I might have to side with Savannah and vote off Jawan just so I don't have to hear him say Uncle Jeff anymore. Dude, you're wearing it out. So, who's the player I want to see go next? Well, that would be Sophie B. There's just something about her that comes off smarmy to me. And if we weren't going to have this new mix-up, I'd say that she'd have to go next just so that Kayleigh could keep their numbers. I can't explain it, but I just shake my head and make faces whenever she's on the screen. Maybe that's why I like Sage. But I don't believe that Sophie B will go next. I'm going to roll the dice here and pick between Nate, Steven, or Rizzo as next. No, not Rizzo, though. Nate or Steven, because Rizzo has an idol. So I guess I'll just flip a coin. I don't know. It's hard to say. So everyone take care and enjoy the next episode. Bye.
All right. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, there's a little bit about Sophie B that annoys me, too. It's that baby voice, I think. That's a little bit off-putting that she does.
Yeah, her demeanor has changed a good bit, seems like.
Well, she just keeps losing more and more energy, so she's not able to bring the same level that she was before.
Even so, it seems to a little bit unnatural to the Sophie we saw to start with in how she was playing, but she hunkered down and got in there with the group she needed to, so maybe she's just laying low.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not enthused about going down to tiny tribes, but fingers crossed with the next episode ends with the indication that they're going to merge in the following episode. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't want to spend any time in tiny tribes. We're obviously going to do it once, but...
Well, but then they usually merge by 11 in the small tribes.
Mm-hmm.
From the smaller numbers. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they would do this just for one episode unless they just want to keep, stirring the pot, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it'll create some interesting dynamics. Maybe something good will come out of it.
Yeah, for the merge, or new alliances. But I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to go that way.
We'll see. We're still looking forward to it. We want to say a big thank you to everybody who took time to send in your thoughts and predictions this week. We love hearing from all of you and finding out what you thought about the episode. Also, big thanks to Hope and Nancy B for your donations. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
And welcome back, Paul, if I didn't say. Okay, if you play in JSFL, remember to make your picks for one person voted out and 4 people who you think will still be in the game at the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm. Could be a little tricky with 3 groups of 4.
Yeah, well, we're just going to have to wait and see how that plays out.
Yeah. Okay, we're looking forward to it on Wednesday. We'll be back then with our recap.
Everybody have a good one.